I cut my face in 3 different spots while shaving.
And that's how you wanted to start the podcast. That's what you wanted to do?
Yes.
Okay, well, what's up, guys? Chuckin Muffins here. Back with another podcast. I guess Eddie felt he had to do a unique intro, so
One of them's right here above my lip.
we're the other two.
So grab your drinks and preheat your ovens. It's time for Chuckin Muffins.
All right. Let's get started here. So let's start off with Ilya Mikheyev. So Ilya Mikheyev signs a 2-year, I think $1.4 million deal with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Not that eventful or anything, but kind of something I wanted to touch on. He actually ended up taking a discount to stay in Toronto, which I actually kind of find interesting a little bit. So I'll pull up the exact quote now from Mikheyev's agent. So the exact quote is, Ilya decided to step off a little bit from an already agreed number to help the team fit under the cap, is what his agent told Sportsnet. He also said for Ilya, it was less about the money, but more about the role in the organization. He wishes to win the Stanley Cup. It's been a lifelong dream. So that just kind of shows the quality player of Ilya Mikheyev and like the person he is. So I honestly, it's a great contract. What were you
Yeah,
gonna say?
that's really. I'm trying to think of the word. It's like really one. It's smart for Mikheyev and the
No, it
Leafs, but
is. It
two,
really is.
it shows humility for Mikheyev because one thing a lot of people don't realize about athletes. Um, so here's the best way I could put it. Tom Brady won 6 Super Bowls with the Patriots because he was on a team friendly deal. Nathan, and put it into hockey terms, Nathan McKinnon's doing something similar like that too. Like he's taking a team friendly term where he's taking a discount from what he could be making, but it's so they can afford to keep a good team around and keep a good core. So McKay's obviously not the same caliber athlete as Nathan
Oh
McKinnon or
yeah,
Tom Brady,
obviously.
but still the same thing. And Matthias Ekholm did it with the Predators.
Mhm.
Like there's a few examples I could point out, but it's just genuinely smart for both the team and the player to do that.
Like if you look at like Tampa Bay, like a lot of those guys, like Stamkos when he signed, Kucherov when he signed, even like Vasilevsky, they're all making like big bucks, but they could have made a lot more than what they asked for. I think
Right.
Stamkos is making like 8.5.
Yeah, he's
And like
making
when he signed it, like we were like, all right, yeah, he's worth the contract, but like he could have got like I'd say 10.5 on the open market.
yeah.
So it just shows like what players want to do to stay in a winning situation. So good on Toronto to find another cheap deal because you know they're loaded up front with talent and money. So good on them. Good contract. So let's move in to the Boston Bruins a little bit. So we're going to talk about them. So they signed Matt Grzelcyk to a 4-year deal. Oh, I forgot the AAV. It was 3 point
Grizzly
something. 3.6, I
three
think.
point yeah 3.6.
3.6. So 3.6 million. Uh, you know, it's it's a little steep, right?
That's kind of an overpayment. Yeah.
I mean, well, let's take a look at his numbers. So, what did he do last year? I'm pulling it up right now. So in 68 games, he had 4 goals, 17 assists for 21 points. It's not bad. It's not really worth 3.6 though. I don't know if
No.
they paid him. I don't know if they paid him 3.6 for the player he is now or the player he's going to be. I don't know what the Bruins think the upside is there. I mean, if you look at the Bruins defense, like doesn't look too hot right now. It really doesn't. And
Especially, you know what? They might just be super reliant on him now just because they lost Krug.
that's what I'm thinking. So I'm gonna read off the blue line right now. So on the left side, they got Grzelcyk, John Moore, and Lazone. And on the right, they have McAvoy, Carlo, and Connor Clifton. To me, that's not a playoff caliber defense.
No,
It's not.
McAvoy is good and everything,
No,
but like
McAvoy's great.
just you can't lead a whole defense by yourself. Not
No,
like
you
you
can't.
can't. And if the number two guy there is probably Carlo or Grizzly, that's problematic.
It is. Chara's still out there. We really haven't heard much on Chara. I'd figure he'd want to come back. They need Chara. They legitimately do need a top 4 defenseman. And he's not going to be expensive either because
No,
he'll take 700 grand 1-year deal. But dude, that's like I'm a little worried for Boston. Like with their prime and their core, with their core where it is right now and where they're like ages, they're in their 30s. Like they don't have time to be like, all right, let's take like a year off, get a good draft pick. They can't do
Exactly.
that.
Yeah. No,
They
you
have
need
to
to.
win now.
Yeah,
Bergeron's like
you have to.
34, Marchand's like 31. Like
Krejci's 34.
Tuukka Rask is up there too.
Bergeron's 35. Tuukka
He's
Rask
35
is
now. Tuukka Rask is up
33.
there. Yeah, like they have an old team. They really
Time's
can't afford.
slipping.
They have some young pieces. I like the Craig Smith signing. I do like that. I think it'll be a good depth signing. I like the Kasha pickup. I think he'll fit in there too. But just that defense, man. Do they have anyone coming up? I know they got Vakanainen or Vakan, whoever the hell you say his name.
You got it right the first time. I'm actually shocked. Vakanainen.
Vakanainen. Oh, there you go. They got Steve Camphor too. I didn't even realize that.
I was gonna say, like, I don't think you realize Steve Camphor is on the fucking in the system. They got Jakob Zboril. I don't really know if like I don't know if he's gonna grow. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not really sure about that one anymore.
Could have had Barzal with that pick, but Zboril's not bad. Good consolation. Just back to the defense. It's once again, it's not a playoff caliber defense. They got to make a move there. I don't know if maybe it's moving DeBrusque if you can't afford him for a young defenseman. Maybe I don't really know though. Like who's a young defender that would be out there that Boston could even go after?
I heard Carolina's looking to move Shea,
Gardner.
I don't know if that's worth
I heard
it.
they wanted to move Gardner.
I've heard both of them.
Both
their
of them,
names
yeah.
are out there.
Well, they're
I'd rather
loaded
take
with
Shea over
defense.
Gardner though.
Yeah, Shea's got upside. Gardner's overpaid and not as good as he used to be. So I don't know, man. I think Boston's got to make a move. They got to bring back Chara because the defense they have right now isn't good enough. It's not.
No.
They got Kevin Miller on IR. I don't know what his situation is. I think he's out long term. I don't even think he played a lot last year. So he's not great anyway. So can't rely on him to play in the top four. So looking at it right here, not counting Chara for their defense, they have like 2 top 4 guys, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can consider Carlo a top 4 guy. I kind of just him and Grizzly are kind of like fringe top 4 guys.
I could say Carlo is a top 4 in my opinion. Grizzlick is like he's borderlines. The fact that back to his contract in general, it's just like too much for someone who's an iffy top 4.
I agree. It's just he's not there yet.
So the fact that Grizzlick is an iffy top 4, if anything, like at most, the fact that he's making almost $4 million is ludicrous for what is it, 3 years? I think
4.
Even worse. Jesus.
You know, I can get behind the contract, not right now. I think Grizzly can have upside. He might get that number 1 power play unit. You never know. With Crew gone, if there's an open spot, it might go to McAvoy because McAvoy, he's not great offensively. McAvoy, he's not like, he's more of a two-way guy. He put up 32 points last season, so it's not bad. He probably would be the option to get the number 1 unit. Maybe Grizzly gets number 2. I don't know, but 3.6 mil for basically an unproven defenseman, in my opinion. I don't know if Boston fans have a different opinion on him. Definitely help us out because we don't know much about him.
When best example I could give is like if the Sharks getting Dubnyk, like you're saying, like you can like tell me good things about Dubnyk and everything. Like I can't.
Yeah,
I don't see the upside as a Rangers or a non-Sharks fan.
I'm trying to be optimistic here, most definitely. He's proven he can be a starter before. I don't know, not last year, but hopefully he rebounds. So moving on from Boston, Chicago Blackhawks. I don't know when this is. I think it's gonna come out tomorrow. So 2 days ago, the Chicago Blackhawks released a message. Same thing with the Rangers that they did a couple years ago, basically saying that we're not going to be a great team. We're going to rebuild next couple of years. Focus on all young players. What are your thoughts on what the Blackhawks are doing with that?
I think. All right, so hockey is like a business. So I don't know if you know this, but if you're a stock owner and the company itself is telling you like, listen, we're not going in a good direction, like you need communication from. So This is the same thing. So if you're a fan of a team, the team itself, like the organization telling you, like warning you, like, listen, we're not doing so good. We're gonna try and sell and then or whatever and then fix ourselves. So that's I think that's fine that they're warning them. Like the Rangers did the same exact thing like 2-3 years ago. They sent out a letter saying, okay, we're going into a rebuild now, so get ready. Please don't fucking leave the fan base, please. Which was, it hurt at first. Like seriously, Blackhawk fans, it hurts at first, and you're like, damn, like we're not gonna win for a few years.
Looking
But
back on it now, it didn't seem like too bad. Like honestly,
no, they're well. To
it
be
was
fair, they
definitely the right
also
move.
got pick number 2 and pick number 1 in consecutive years.
Yeah, they did luck out with the lottery, so that did accelerate the rebuild a little bit or retool a little bit. So that does help. Getting
Yeah, it
picking one
definitely
and
made it
two.
go faster.
So,
But you also have to realize like the trades and the signings that Gorton has made.
mhm.
Here's a problem that I have with the Blackhawks doing that though. It's Stan Bowman, right? I don't know
Yes.
why I thought it was Scott for a minute. Stan Bowman is going to run that team into the ground. Like you need a general manager who does it properly. He he's shown clearly he can't make proper moves when the team's already like doing relatively okay.
He,
Now
the,
they're going into a rebuild. He's just gonna destroy it. He's not gonna do a good job, I don't think.
yeah, he's had past prior experiences where he's not made the best moves. I mean, the Saad trade was all right. I can get behind that trade. They got picked up a young defender, moved out not aging forward, but a veteran forward. So they recoup some assets.
Yeah.
Just the thing I'm worried about with the Hawks going into this rebuild. What does the future of Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews look like? Like honestly, like would it be completely unrealistic in the next 2 years to find them on different teams? Personally, I don't think so.
No, it really wouldn't. And to be honest, I kind of hope so because I'm a huge fan of Patrick Kane, but Jonathan Taves is like, I don't have a thing with it. Like I don't really, I'm neutral on Jonathan Taves. I think he deserves better after everything he did for Chicago. Patrick Kane 100% deserves best American player in the league
All
right
time.
now, all time. Might I add? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, he shouldn't be on a rebuilding team like ever.
It depends how fast does Chicago get out of this rebuild or retool, whatever you want to call it. And like looking at their roster, like honestly, what can the Blackhawks like ship out? Because like I'm looking at their roster right now. If I'm another team's general manager looking at the Blackhawks trying to like make a trade work here, dude, I don't see anything really. I don't know what they move. Like,
Well, all right. So if I'm Chicago, I would say this is barring that Kane and Taves are safe.
but let's exclude Kane and Taves right now.
So I'm saying the only pieces you should keep are those two: the Brinket, Kubalik, Doc, and Bachfist.
I agree. I'd maybe throw Strom in that list.
I meant, yep, I've missed Strom. Yep, my
Yep.
apologies. And
And
Strom too.
maybe Alex Nylander. I'm a little undecided with him. But just looking at the blue line for the Blackhawks right now, they have 4 guys, I'd say, that are in their top 4. So we got Keith, who's been there forever. He making 5.5 for the next 3 years, and he's 37. So if I'm another general manager, I'm not taking that contract. So
Nope.
there's a player I don't want. Calvin DeHaan, who honestly, I don't know how he got that contract. I have no idea. I really don't. His career high in points is, let's see, 25. 25.
Yeah, he came from the Hurricanes, I think, on that deal, right? Like the Islanders shipped him off to Carolina, I think, and then after Carolina, he went to Chicago.
Yep. Just that contract is absolutely terrible. So
It's ridiculous.
no takers on that contract unless they spice the deal. Connor Murphy, $3.8 million. How did he get that money? How?
Stan Bowman, bro, I'm telling you, he's the problem.
They have Zadorov, who they just acquired, so they're not going to move him out. And they have Bachvist, and they're not trading him.
No.
So on their defense, they have no one they can trade. Okay.
I don't know what to do with that at that point. Again,
okay, so let's look at the forward core now. They traded away Saad. They got Zadorov for him. Okay. Zach Smith, 3.2 for another year. No one wants that. He's a 4th-line center.
Wasn't he like a target for a buyout, I thought, this year?
Yeah. I guess they choose not to bought him out, though. They bought out Olimata. instead, I guess. So they signed Janmark. Maybe they flip him at the deadline, but what is that? A third-round pick? All right.
Yanmark.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably around there.
Carpenter, he's fourth liner. David Camp, fourth liner. Walmart, fourth liner. Like, what are they going to trade? How are they going to recoup their assets? So in the 2021 draft, they're missing a third. So that's it. They have all their other draft picks, and everything after that, they have their draft picks. So, dude, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what they're going to do. They got some young players, but
it starts with one big step, and in that step is a little move called fire Stan Bowman. Again, like
I
Jeff,
agree. There has to be change there. It's not. Yeah,
I genuinely think Jeff Gorton is like a top 10 general manager in the league, and I think a lot would agree on that.
Mhm.
So the fact that he was in charge of our rebuild, and again, a lot of that luck helped too. But even if we didn't have the luck, I'm certain he would have gotten it done.
But you still made decent trades.
Exactly.
Like the Rick Nash trade, you fleeced Boston.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't think Stan Bowman should be in charge of this. I think they need to move on. Like
I agree.
The early 2010s are done. Like they're done. You just gotta.
I'd even throw in a coaching change there too. Jeremy Collington, like he's younger than some of the players on this team. Like
exactly. How are they supposed to respect him?
I don't. It's just there has to be changes in Chicago.
Then again, I don't think the age matters. I think it's a matter of leadership. Like how the Leafs must feel. Like say you're
Joe Thornton. Joe Thornton. Yeah, perfect example.
20-something-year-old Dubas comes up to you. He's like, "Hey, mister, you want to sign with my team?" And then Joe Thornton's just like, I don't think the age matters. I think it's a matter of how you do your job.
No, I do agree. But, age definitely does, I think, have play into it because, like, if you're a guy like Duncan Keith, Patrick Kane, are you going to really, like, take a guy seriously that's, like, a year older than you? Like, Duncan Keith probably knows more than Jeremy Collington.
I wouldn't doubt it. Maybe Keith should retire and become the head coach at this point.
Imagine.
It's a little unrealistic thing that could happen.
So we talked about the forward core and the defense. So let's move into the goaltending. So we've talked about this before, Colin Delia and Malcolm Subban. But it doesn't really end there. They have a guy, Kevin Lankinen. So Kevin Lankinen played in the AHL last year. He had an amazing, I forgot what the tournament was called. I think it was I forgot the tournament, but I think it was the World Cup. He had a great tournament, played fantastic. He had a 943 in 11 games, played fantastic. So from what I've heard, Chicago's kind of betting on this guy maybe being a part of the future for them. He's what is he? I think he's 25, so he's still relatively young for a goalie. He's been playing overseas for a while. I mean, is it really
to be fair,
the reason you didn't bring back Crow?
Colin Delia and Malcolm Subban. It's not that much of a big deal if he comes up. It's not gonna be like, oh, what the fuck are they doing? It's gonna be like,
no. I'm not saying that. I'm saying maybe he has upside.
Again, more upside than both those two. Like they're not gonna get any better.
Colin Delia is not that bad. Malcolm Subban is awful though.
I've
never been a Malcolm Subban fan. He's just not good. Colin Delia is all right. I do have hopes for Kevin Lankinen. He's all right. Chicago, they need something. They really don't have any good prospects. Every prospect they have is like in the NHL. So
pretty much,
yeah. So based on a rebuild, like if you're gonna move out assets, like honestly, what a better asset to move out than Patrick Kane? Like,
and imagine the haul you get for that.
Like just think, I feel like if you're Stan Bowman, you have to have a sit down. You got to sit down with Keith, Taves, and Kane. You got to be like, listen, you got to just present the plan out, present whatever the 3-year, 4-year plan, whatever you're trying to do with the rebuild, and you have to present to them. Because by the time that rebuild's over, they're going to be in their mid to late 30s. So you got to see, does Kane and Taves, do they want to go through a rebuild or do they want to win now? And if they want to win now, trade them. Like there's like
it's super unfair that they have to go through
it. Is. No, it is. They're great players, and I'm sure they don't want to leave. They definitely love playing in Chicago. But if the opportunity's right, I'm sure they'll wouldn't mind to be traded, especially with the rebuild and everything.
Especially if they're going into a rebuild, they're both making 10.5 each.
But the tricky thing about that is the salary cap right now. What team can take on $10.5 million?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like
It's gotta be
nobody.
someone. It's gotta
Detroit
be
or like Ottawa. And I don't think Kane wants to go there. And Kane definitely has a no move clause. So Kane's going to have full control over where he goes.
Kane and Taves both have no.
Yeah, I was going to say they both do. Keith probably has one too. And so does Seabrook because that contract's awful. And even Keith. I feel like Keith's a good defender. He's a little pricey, but he's been reliable. Like Keith really hasn't like fallen off. Like he's been a steady defender for the past like 3 or 4 years. He's not Norris caliber like he used to be, but
No.
he's still a solid top 4 defender.
I get what you mean by that. He's gonna be 40 by the end of his deal though.
If he was on a cheaper deal, I wouldn't mind him on the Sharks. I don't think you would mind him on the Rangers. Like he's a great defenseman. So I don't know. Maybe they flip him. Maybe a team's interested. Personally, I don't see it. But hey, Chicago, they have to do something.
I don't know. People that jumped on the Blackhawks bandwagon when they won the Stanley Cup, get ready to jump off.
Oh, yeah. A lot of changes coming in Chicago soon. So we'll keep everyone updated on everything that happens with that. And for the last segment in this podcast, we're going to look back at the Vegas expansion draft from 3 years ago. All right. So how do you want to run through this? Do you want to run through like Anaheim, through Washington, and just go through the picks and what they did?
Yeah, I could tell you right now it's not going to be a very long segment because the majority of these players aren't even on the team anymore.
Basically. But it's kind of interesting to look back and just kind of see what every team did and like see if they could have done everything different. So Anaheim. Pretty big goof by Anaheim, I'd say. So Vegas takes Clayton Stoner, but that's not really like the main thing. They also gave up Shea Theodore.
Run me through that again. What exactly was the deal with Shea Theodore going there?
It was basically Anaheim was more or less saying we don't want you to take Vatanen and Manson. So they kind of just said have Shea Theodore. And looking back, I think Anaheim might regret that a little bit.
Considering Vatanen's not on the team.
And Manson's great. He's a good top 4 defender, but Shea Theodore's really freaking good, man. He'd be the number 1 defenseman on that team.
There was talks that if Vegas won the cup, that he was a Conn Smythe.
Yeah, he played
player.
Excellent.
He's how great he was playing.
No, he's a really underrated defenseman. I like Theodore personally. I don't know what Anaheim was doing there, man. I really don't.
Yeah, but we're not talking about the big piece here. They got Clayton Stoner. Do you realize how much that's done for the Vegas Golden Knights franchise?
Oh my God. I'm pretty sure they flipped him. To be completely honest.
I was gonna say I don't even remember him playing a game.
No, he didn't. I'm pretty sure he was hurt. I don't really honestly know what happened. It was honestly 3 years ago. So yeah, so that's the first goof of the expansion draft. So with Arizona, they select Timu Pulkkinen. Not much to say there. I don't think yet. Yeah, exactly. I know who he is. He was. I don't even think he's in the league. He's probably overseas now. He was an AHL player. Boston. Vegas selects Colin Miller. Once again, just easy selection pick there. Nothing really notable there. From Buffalo, they select Carrier, and Golden Knights also throw in a 6th-round pick. There's something with this. Let me just find it.
Carrier. He's still there, I'm pretty sure.
He's still there. So Carrier's a pretty big part of that 4th line with Reeves. They freaking go out and they freaking throw the body around. Really hard line to play against. Pretty good pickup for Vegas, honestly. They also got a 6th-round pick. Doesn't say. Okay, so they ended up throwing them a 6th-round pick to take Carrier to stay away from other forward. That forward really never came disclosed. So that's what happened with Buffalo. Moving on to Calgary, they select Derek Englund. Pretty big part of that team. Not really on the ice, but he's a great leader off the ice for Vegas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, remember when the shooting happened in Vegas? Like, he came out, he made that speech and everything.
Yeah, he stood up and he was. No, actually, I remember that specifically. That actually made me really like Derek Englund.
No, yeah.
Wow, he's one of those players that while he's not a very
flashy player. He's
flashy
not gonna. Yeah.
player. He's genuinely like just a leader off the ice. He actually, I'm just looking at it now. In that year, he won the Messier Leadership Award
Yeah.
for 100%, 100% earned
Much
that.
deserved. Yeah, he's a great off ice player. Great. He'll definitely be in the Vegas organization some way or another, whether it's developmental coach, whatever.
Yeah, no, that would be smart in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Because leadership in the front office matters too, you know.
No, like you wouldn't not want a player like Derek Englund on your team. Like, fantastic leader, just great off ice player. Moving on, Carolina. They picked Connor Brickley from them. Vegas also got a 5th round pick for not taking whoever. Moving on, Chicago. They lose TVR. Once again, he never played with Vegas.
Did they flip him?
Yeah, they definitely flipped him. There's also like a bunch of trades too. I guess we'll get to that at the end. We'll look at the trades at the end. So, where was I? Oh yeah, okay. So Colorado, they get Vegas gets Calvin Pickard from Colorado. And all right, Columbus, a little interesting one. So Vegas from Columbus, they get William Karlsson, a 2017 first round pick, 2019 second round pick, and the contract of David Clarkson. So, thoughts on that one? Think Columbus might regret that trade or that little move that they made.
All right, so here's where Columbus isn't entirely at fault. Carlson only put up 6 goals with like his career high in Columbus was 9, and his career high in points was 25. So, and he was 24, so maybe they were thinking, okay, his development's not going anywhere, so let's just move him.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not entirely like foolish for doing. There's another team that you already know we're going to talk about that I despise for doing this.
Yep, we'll get to it.
But I don't think Columbus is too much at fault. I just think Vegas made a really, really good pickup with that. He scored almost 50 goals with them in one season, in their inaugural season. So I don't know. Again, like I don't really see that as Columbus's like fault in too much of a way.
No, how are they supposed to know that he would jump like basically like 35 goals? Exactly. Like that's insane. And he turned himself into a pretty good player. Like he wasn't a one-hit wonder, like kind of a lot of people thought he would be. He's not going to ever reach 43 goals or whatever he had. I think it was 43. Yep. He'll never reach that again, but he's still a great second-line center for Vegas. He's on 100%. A great contract as well.
Oh, yeah, no, steal of a contract.
Oh, yeah. And with the pick that they got from Columbus, they selected, if I'm not mistaken, Eric Brandstrom.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Wait, actually? Nope, wait. What? This is messed up then.
Wait, what happened? What is
it? No,
it's
I don't know. I went on Wikipedia. My mistake is the first thing that popped up. So don't do that. I want to figure out who they picked. That's annoying. Pick. All right, we'll just skip over that. I'm pretty sure it was Brancham. If not, whatever. So Vegas picks up. Great. They get a bunch of assets from Columbus. They did take on the contract of Clarkson, but I'm pretty sure they flipped that. I'm pretty sure they don't have that contract still. I'm pretty sure it's the lease right now, actually. He's on LTIR with them.
David Clarkson, you said?
If I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. That might be Horton. They definitely have a contract. They have a contract like that.
Yeah, they definitely have
Horton. It's either Horton or Clarkson. I don't know who has Clarkson right now. Or did the deal expire? Damn, we're bad. We're bad hockey podcast.
It might have been. I'm pretty sure it expired.
I think it did. All right, so we'll move on from Columbus. Dallas loses Cody Eakin. Good. Moving on from that. Detroit loses Nosek, who's actually still part of the team. Once again, just like Harrier, great fourth line player for them. Goes around, throws the body around. Just a good role player. Nothing special. So, moving on from that. Edmonton, they lose Griffin Reinhart. I don't really know why Vegas picked him. A little odd.
I don't know what just happened. I was on Hockey Reference and like an advertisement just popped up out of nowhere at full fucking volume, just completely destroyed my eardrum when you were talking.
Did you hear what I said or no?
I heard up to Griffin Reinhart.
Yeah, Griffin Reinhart. I mean, never panned out for Vegas. I mean, they took a chance on him, didn't work out.
Has he panned out for anyone?
No, he hasn't.
I don't. He was
he was a bust. Sucks for the Islanders. Sucks for the Oilers. Sucks for every team that had him. So moving on to the Florida Panthers, who arguably took the biggest L of the expansion draft. So Vegas selected Jonathan Marchessault, and on top of that, the Panthers threw in Riley Smith and got a 4th rounder in return. So Florida loses 2 top 6 forwards for a 4th round pick.
You know what pisses me off the most about that whole thing?
What?
Marchessault wasn't even like
He wasn't like a William Karlsson. Like
exactly.
He scored 30 goals. He was a 30 goal scorer. 30 goal scorer.
That's when Florida was horrible too. And then Florida said, "No, get rid of him."
No, I'm pretty sure this when Florida was good.
2016 to 2017. To be fair, they were never like.
Didn't they make the playoffs? They won the Atlantic in 2016. I'm almost positive. That's the year they got upset the Islanders in the 2nd round, right?
I think it might be, yeah.
So they were a good team.
That's still not an excuse. You don't get rid of 30 goals, 51 points.
And even Riley Smith. Riley Smith was a solid 40 to 50 point scorer.
Florida should
for a 4th round pick.
Florida should be credited with building the top 6 for fucking Vegas.
Basically, yeah. They gave him 2 solid top 6 options.
Absolutely abysmal performance.
No, that is. I don't know what the mindset was there. I mean, I guess they thought the Riley Smith contract was too high, but like
they, you know what they wanted to do? They were protecting Alex Petrovic so they can keep their defensive core together.
Right.
And then after the expansion draft, like a few months later, guess who's on the fucking trading block? Petrovic. He's gone. Like, what the hell are you doing?
Oh my god, man!
I still can't believe that. That was absolutely unreal to me when I remember seeing that. I was like, wait, what the fuck? Like Marchessault, I didn't even know Marchessault was available. That's how stupid I thought it was.
So they signed Riley Smith to the contract, and he never played a game with that contract for Florida. So they signed him the contract, realized they messed up, and then traded him for a 4th round pick. What?
Really can't with this stuff, dude.
Oh man. All right. Yeah. So Florida fucked up.
They goofed hard.
They did. All right, moving on from that. Los Angeles, they lose Braden McNabb. Solid pickup for Vegas. I think he's been Nate Schmidt's D partner for the past couple of years. They just shipped Schmidt out, so they're gonna have to find him a new partner. But he's a solid top 4 option. He's a good defensive defenseman. It's not bad. Good pickup from Vegas. On LA, like you probably couldn't have gotten anything better out of that, just based off where that team is at that time.
Yeah,
they weren't a great team.
Yeah, you're kind of right. Like there's such a lack of options that, but like, no, McNabb's actually not bad. Like he's actually a pretty good defensive.
He's a decent 4-5 defenseman. Moving on to the Minnesota Wild, who actually kind of take an L tier too. So they lost Eric Howlett in the expansion draft, and they traded Tuck for a 3rd round pick to Vegas as well. Ouchie.
Okay, so all right, I jumped the gun. Florida and Minnesota pretty much built the top 6 for Vegas. Like that's ridiculous to me.
Especially when Howlett went there. Howlett was really good when he went there. Howlett scored 30 goals in his first year with Vegas. Yeah. So good pickup there. And Alex Tuch, he's a great power forward. I love Tuch. Great second line forward. He's really good.
He had a great sophomore year with them, 52 points in 74 games. He kind of fell off a little bit this season, 42 games and 17 points.
Yeah, he was hurt this year, though. He went through injuries.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, you don't.
And he's still young, too. He has upside.
He's 23. Yeah. I don't know. Just sometimes the things going through managers' minds just unreal to me.
Oh, man. You want to hear this?
Let's hear it.
So the Wilds gave them Alex Tuch so they can protect, guess who? Marco Scandella.
Bye. Bye.
What? I kind of forgot he even played with Minnesota. Like that was so long ago. Oh man, that's tough. Yep. So Minnesota.
Yeah, he's at St. Louis.
Yeah, on a terrible contract there. All right, yep, Minnesota once again. They did not do great in the expansion drafts. Montreal, not heard that name in a while. Montreal, they lose Alexei Emelin.
Oh my God, yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot about
I have
him.
not heard that name in a while. Last time I heard him, he was playing with Nashville, I think, a couple of years ago.
That is true. All I know is Montreal fans. I'm pretty sure he's in Russia right now, if I'm not
That wouldn't
mistaken.
surprise me. He was a big defender. I don't think he ever played with Vegas. He was a big D-man though. He
No,
laid
no,
the
I
body
remember
around.
he
He
went
was a
to
good fifth, sixth
Nashville.
option.
Yeah, Emmeline's the guy that tripped Kreider, and that's why Carey Price was injured in that 1 year in the
Nah,
playoff.
Kreider runs goalies, man.
Shut the
I don't
fuck
know.
up.
Kreider runs
Shut the
goalies.
fuck up. You're so dumb and ignorant. You guys are all ignorant. He was tripped. He was watch the clip. He was
Moving
tripped.
on to the Nashville Predators, who they picked, we honestly thought would be their franchise player for a little bit, James Neal.
Yeah.
Look how that turned out. He played great in Nashville his first year, but he really wasn't like the star there. William Karlsson was a star. Riley Smith was a star. Marchessault was a star. Like those guys really came in. We thought James Neal was going to be the guy. He wasn't. I'm still kind of shocked by that. Ever since he kind of got selected in the expansion draft, he's honestly really never been the same player.
Well,
Right?
actually, here's what the thing with James Neal is once he left Nashville, he went to Vegas and he played really good with them.
Bless you.
Thank you. He played really well with them. And then, he goes to free agency or whatever. Calgary picks him up. He shit the bed with Calgary.
He did. It was just never a fit. He never got an opportunity to succeed
Yeah, and
there.
then he got sent over to
Edmonton.
Edmonton for Lucic, I think it was.
Yeah. He had a great start, but
now in Edmonton, he
had a great start. He had a great start to the year.
He still got 31 points in 55 games. It's not
bad.
Not
He
terrible.
definitely rebounded. But he wasn't the 30 goal scorer he was. And he's not that old either. What is he, like 32, 31? He's 30?
He's 32 right now. Yeah.
32. So he's kind of up there, but didn't expect him to fall off that quick, but he's still a decent player and a decent pickup for Vegas. It was definitely the right option. New Jersey, they lose John Merrill. He played in Vegas for like a couple years. He just signed with Detroit this offseason. Once again, good role player. About as good as you're going to get out of New Jersey, honestly. So moving on to the New York Islanders. Oh, we actually got a big one here. So the Islanders, they lose JF Berube in the expansion draft, but the Golden Knights acquired Grabovski, defenseman Jake Blishoff, which I've honestly never heard of him, 2017 first, which is 15 overall, and a 2019 second. Just to take on the Grabovski contract. I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah.
I
I remember seeing
that. Brandstrom was 15. That's who it was. So the Islanders could have had Brandstrom.
Dude, Brandstrom's fucking sick, too. Like, I fuck with Brandstrom.
I didn't even realize that. Dude, they gave up a haul for that. What?
It was a burden of a contract, I remember at the time. I don't know what they needed the money for specifically. Like,
Jesus, man. That's rough. You got to have Branch. I don't know what the 2019 second is. It's probably too early to tell what that is, but Brandstrom's a really good prospect. Like, Brandstrom's really good.
No, yeah.
Brandstrom got Vegas Mark Stone. Like, just look at it like that.
Exactly. And Mark Stone is like
a Selke candidate year in, year out. Yeah. Great. I'd say he's the best defensive winger in the league. No questions asked there. So it's a pretty tough price to pay for that Grabovski.
Wait, time out. What'd you just say?
A pretty tough price to pay.
No, before that. Mark Stone.
I'd say the best defensive winger in the league.
Oh yeah, 100%. I thought you said best winger. I was about to smack.
No. I'm a fucking Sharks fan. You think I'd call him? I hate Mark Stone. I gotta give credit when credit's due, though. He's very good. So yeah, just that move by the Islanders. Looking at it now, it doesn't seem that great. It kind of might make sense. They were probably trying to clear out cap space to sign Tavares, if maybe. So they had to move I don't know if he was gone. No, he wasn't gone. So maybe that's what they were trying to do.
If that's the case, it didn't go too well.
Didn't go too well. So they lost Brandstrom for that, or they could have picked up whoever. So Islanders, I don't know about that, man. That's a tough expansion draft for them. Moving on, New York Rangers, they lose Oscar Lindbergh. You can talk about him.
Yeah, that wasn't. We were actually all just relieved that they didn't take Grabner, who was a 40 goal scorer for us at the time.
Mhm.
But the thing with Lindbergh that was so tough was no one really realizes this. Lindbergh and Fost on a line were like unreal because they're both from Sweden. I'd assume that's why they put them together in the first place. But Lindbergh and Fost was like just like really like productive, and then we lost Lindbergh, so that was kind of a hole, but not that. It was like a third or fourth line hole.
Is
So
Lindbergh even in the league anymore? I don't think he is.
I'm not too sure. I'm almost positive he isn't.
I don't think he's either overseas or in the. I don't think he's in the AHL. I think he's overseas. I'm almost
Yeah,
positive.
he's overseas. He's probably playing in Sweden. Most players just go back to their home country.
Yeah,
after
makes sense.
They're running the NHL, but yeah, we were just glad they didn't take Grabner, so we kind of won that part of the draft.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a name I haven't heard in a while too. So Ottawa loses Mark Mathot, who is Eric Carlson's defensive partner. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure like Mathot was like really unhappy about this. Do you remember that? Like he was like pissed off or something that he like left Ottawa. Do you remember that or no?
Not at all.
Not at all. Because he was a senator, I'm pretty sure his whole career, if I'm not mistaken. And he got taken in the expansion draft. And I'm pretty sure he was really unhappy about it. I don't think he ever played in Vegas either.
Nope. Looking at it now, he went straight from Ottawa to Dallas. Like he never like playing wise, he never went through Vegas.
Yeah, so Mark Mathot was Eric Carlson's defensive partner for many years. Great defensive defenseman. What were you gonna say?
Didn't fucking Crosby like slash his finger off?
I think maybe.
I'm almost positive Sidney Crosby slashed off Mark Mathot's finger a few years ago.
That does ring a bell, honestly. That really does. That could have happened. I don't know though. Moving on. Philadelphia, they lose Pierre-Edouard Bellemare. Same thing with Carrier. Same thing with Nosek. Good leader, good fourth line player. You know, not much else to say.
Bellemare?
Yeah.
He kind of was a big role player for Vegas.
He was a big part in taking them to the Cup final in their first year.
Yeah, no, that was a good depth piece. That was generally for depth. That was
like you need pieces like that. You need pieces like Carrier, Nosek, Bellemare, good bottom six forwards that just get the job done. Consistent players.
Yeah.
So good pickup by them. Pittsburgh Penguins. All right. So they get their goalie. Marc-Andre Fleury gets selected by Vegas, and they also get a second-round pick for taking him. And it worked out, definitely, I'd say. Fleury was great the years he played in Vegas, not really counting this last season, but took him to the Cup final in first year. And he was just great. He really was. He played fantastic there. So good pickup by them.
Remember how big of a deal that was when that
It
happened?
was, yeah. It was such a big deal.
Like seeing it's like seeing Lundqvist in a different jersey in the Rangers. Like you're seeing Fleury in a jersey that's not.
I wouldn't say to the extent of that, but
no, absolutely not. It's still the same effect.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like what the. That doesn't look right.
Definitely a great pickup by Vegas, and they got a 2020 second round pick. I'm kind of interested in what they got with that. They definitely flipped it though, so it's gonna be impossible to trace that. Moving on to the Sharks, they lose David Schlemko. Whatever. He was a 5th, 6th defenseman with us. He was all right, but it doesn't hurt us.
Actually play with Vegas?
No, he got flipped. I forgot. I forgot where he went. Montreal, maybe.
I don't even think he played this year in the NHL.
No, he's been out for a couple of years now. He played with the Sharks, obviously. I think he went to Montreal. Don't hold me to that. I'm pretty sure Montreal.
He did.
He did? Wow, I got that right.
He didn't play this past season.
Yeah, that makes sense. Moving on, the Blues. They actually lost David Perron, who was actually a pretty big part of that team that first year.
Yeah.
He was almost point per game, almost positive.
Probably. He was definitely in the top 6 role, so I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, he was 66 points in 70 games.
That's really good. And then what? He went back to the Blues after that, right?
Yes, sir. Still there.
Yeah. No, he's really good. Perron's really underrated.
Oh wow! Actually, yeah, I'm looking at it now.
Dude,
60 points in 71 games this season. That is super underrated. Oh my god!
Not a lot of people talk about Perron. He kind of came out of nowhere. Like he was all right with the Blues, then he had that really good year with Vegas. Then he kind of kept producing like at that level.
Yeah,
I didn't expect him to, honestly. I thought it was kind of like everyone in Vegas kind of like we kind of all thought they like had career years, but like a lot of them kind of backed it up. Like what's his face? Carlson's been great. Who's Who we just talking about? Fucking what's his face? Perron was fantastic. Marchessault has been still solid there. So they got a lot of pieces to hit in Vegas. So good on them. Tampa, they lose Jason Garrison, name I also haven't heard in a while. They also get the rights to Nikita Gusev, a 2017 second and a 2018 fourth. So that was probably something there that Tampa was like, yeah, just don't take whoever. So they threw in, I guess, the rights to Gusev. Honestly, I forgot Gusev was even on Tampa. Oh, you know it was? Never mind. They wanted to get rid of the Garrison contract. That's what it was. So they paid to get rid of that contract.
Well, yeah, you want to hear his stat line from 2018, 2019, last time he played?
Sure.
17 games played, and I want you to brace yourself for this number.
0.
1 goal.
1 goal.
One goal for Edmonton.
For Edmonton? He wasn't even on Tampa? What's the last team he played on?
Edmonton. He played 8 games for Vegas. 8 games for Vegas.
I totally forgot he even played for Vegas.
Did I. That's exactly.
He was such like a no factor there. So.
Yeah.
Not like honestly looking back at it now, not a steep price to pay to get rid of that contract. They lost Gusev, but odds are he
panned out.
I wouldn't say he hasn't panned out. He's been a decent top 6 forward in New Jersey. Like you gotta look at it like that. He's playing in New Jersey. Who does he play with? Kyle Palmieri? Probably not even. He's probably not even on that top line. So he's not playing with that great of players. So you can't really look at like Gusev's production like that. So
they gotta get him out of there.
They do. I feel bad. Like I'm looking at it now. He had 71 points in 57 KHL games before he came over. That's solid.
People don't realize the KHL is pretty much just Russian NHL.
It's like basically the NHL. It's very competitive.
Like guys like Radulov came from there after not signing with him. Or no, I think he did play in the NHL and then went to the KHL.
Yeah, for a little bit. Remember freaking Vadim Shipachyov? Do you remember him?
Mm-hmm.
He was he played like 4 games in Vegas or some shit like that. Yeah,
wow.
Then he got sent down. Then he was like, "Fuck this."
He was like, "I don't want to play here."
Oh my god,
you totally just unlocked a fucking
Forgot
memory.
about that too. Holy shit!
Wow, yeah.
Forgot about that.
He was like hyped. I remember I took him in fantasy hockey like in the last round. I was like, "You guys are gonna fucking feel so dumb when he becomes point per game, and then ends up being the next All-Star." And then he played 3.
Didn't even make. Oh, I was close. Didn't even make the team.
And he had 1 goal.
And he got sent down. Wow. Then he got sent down. And then he was like, "Fuck this! I'm not playing the AHL." Then he dipped. So, I'd say Tampa. Honestly, they did pretty good with that. I'd say Stevie Y is a freaking genius, man.
Of course, always.
The Toronto Maple Leafs, they lose Brendan Leipzig. Oh man. Do you forget what Brendan Leipzig did? Are you forgetting?
Wait, no.
Are you forgetting?
Yeah, no. He
That's why I was laughing.
He was on Washington this year when he did that.
Yeah.
All right, wait. So
do you want to get into it? Do you want to even mention it or?
Let's not go into detail. Let's just say he did some very naughty things on social media.
He made very disrespectful comments.
He said something about Tanner Pearson's wife. We're not going to say what, though.
I'm not going to say what. Yeah, it's not mean. Disrespectful.
Because out of the 10 viewers that are probably going to see this, one of them is Tanner Pearson. I don't want him coming to my house and beating the shit out of me. Or his wife to beat the shit out of me.
So, yeah, he never really panned out with Vegas. Now he's done. He's never going to get a chance in the NHL. So, moving on from him.
You can't do that. You just can't.
Yeah, he's done. Vancouver, they lose Lucas Spiza. Once again, depth defenseman. It's whatever. It's Lucas Spiza, 7th, 6th defender.
He's playing this year.
I think he's back in Vancouver. If I'm most positive. Maybe he's in Winnipeg. He just signed in Winnipeg. I'm pretty sure. He's a good depth option for them. If he did sign there, I'm almost positive he did.
He did. I don't know if.
Yeah, no, he did.
Yeah, he's still there.
So yeah, never really panned out for Vegas. I don't even think he played a game for them. So moving on.
Wait, his takeaway to giveaway ratio this year was 4-26. He gave it away 26 times and took it 4 times.
How many games did he play?
44.
Oh God.
44.
Ouch. Yeah, he's a decent, I guess, okay seventh
It's
option.
just a very non-big factor pick.
Yeah, he's a, I guess, a. If you don't see Lucas Spies on the ice, he's doing his job. Probably, we'll go with that. So moving on to the second last team, the Washington Capitals. They actually lost a pretty important player, Nate Schmidt. He was actually a pretty big piece of Vegas' decor for a couple years now. He actually just got shipped off to Vancouver, but that was a great pickup by Vegas. Honestly, fantastic.
Yeah, actually, he kind of did like a William Karlsson just in terms of defenseman, like where he just upped his production.
No, he was decent in Washington. He was
Again,
like
yeah,
everyone knew he was good, but we didn't know he was that good. That was the
yeah,
thing. Mhm.
but Schmidt was actually he wasn't even bad. Like he was more of a defenseman, but like if you want to say he was a two-way, you could because he registered 36 points and his giveaway
That's
to
not bad.
takeaway ratio was like he had more takeaways and giveaways, which is shockingly enough like a decent amount for a defenseman. And he finished the high. He had a career high 121 blocked shots in his season,
Man.
first season with Vegas. That's a lot. That's a lot of pucks hitting you.
No, it is really. That's a good pickup for Vancouver. That's going to replace what's his face, Chris Tanev. That guy 8 pucks. So Schmidt will probably replace him. He might even
Like,
play with
for
Hughes,
breakfast.
honestly. Ooh,
Yeah,
dude,
no,
Schmidt
like
and
he
Hughes.
pucks.
That's a
I could
solid
fuck with
line.
that.
Yeah, that's a solid line. Solid pairing, my fault. Moving on to forgot about this player too. Moving on to the final team, Winnipeg. They actually lose all-star forward Chris Thorburn. He got picked by Vegas. And also the Golden Knights swap picks with the Jets, sending the Blue Jackets first rounder number 24 overall to Winnipeg for number 13 overall and a third round pick. So they actually got Nick Suzuki out of that.
That's actually a pretty good pick, to be honest.
Which got them Pacioretty also.
Oh yeah, I forgot they traded that over to Montreal, right?
No, yeah.
And Suzuki actually looked really good for Montreal.
Suzuki's going to be a pretty good top six center for them. So Winnipeg could, I'd say, use a good player like Nick Suzuki right about now. It's crazy how that works, but you never knew. You never knew if they would have even taken him, so it's just all speculation.
Oh yeah, no, of course, that's yeah.
So Vegas did pretty good here, based off they turned Thorburn into Pacioretty basically. So great move by them. And that's actually going to wrap up everything here with the expansion draft.
Thank you so much for watching today's podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to watch our previous podcast. Stay tuned for future podcasts and stay tuned for daily uploads of Chuckin Muffins and make sure to tip your servers. Thank you.
Don't forget, leave a like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate everything and see you guys later.